Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, guys. How are y'all?
What do we have here?
I have a antique straitjacket.
For like crazy people kind of straitjacket?
Well, this is not just any straitjacket. This is an original Harry Houdini straitjacket.
Okay, it does look Friday the 13th-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my Harry Houdini straitjacket. If I can get enough money, I'd like to build a Jeep. I'm hoping to sell it for $100,000. It's an absolutely priceless piece of Houdini memorabilia.
So where did you get this thing?
This jacket was given to my grandfather by Theo Houdini, Harry Houdini's brother. They became good friends after Houdini passed away.
Okay,
Houdini started off as a magician and he didn't have a lot of success. But then he started doing the whole escape thing to help promote his magic show, getting out of straitjackets, the water tricks, all that. Next thing you know, he was big. He was a master of self-promotion.
Yeah.
One of Houdini's most famous straitjacket escapes, he was suspended from the Library of Congress while high winds battered him against the building. But he still escaped, and if this is one of the straitjackets he used, it would be unbelievable.
well, I'll tell you what, it is in rough condition. And why these rivets are like this, I have no idea.
It had to give to the dramatic effect when it's Houdini and he might die in this thing.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by this. The last Houdini stuff I got in here was a set of shackles, and they were worth a ton of money. But if this straitjacket was really Houdini's, it'll be an even bigger deal.
What'd you want to do with it?
I'd like to sell it.
And how much do you want for it?
$100,000.
We might be talking the right neighborhood. It would be the most collectible Houdini thing there is out there. The problem is Theo Houdini was notorious for selling things that were supposed to belong to Houdini that didn't belong to Houdini. Do you mind if I have someone check it out?
Love to.
Okay.
Well, let me call a buddy of mine down here. He knows all about this stuff. He'll shed some more light on it. Okay?
Cool.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, sir.
This could be the most famous item ever in the history of magic. If it's real, I'm gonna put up stacks and stacks of cash for it, because it's amazing.
Good to see you, eh?
Hey,
Rick?
Hey, man, how's
You
it
all
going?
right? I'm a magician. I travel the world doing various magic. I've been in magic over 25 years.
This is what I called you about. This is supposed to be Houdini's straitjacket.
Wow. So what's the history of it, just so we know a little bit on it?
The story is Theo gave this jacket to my grandfather. He was very good friends with Theo.
Okay, this makes sense. Theo, Houdini's brother, gave a lot of his stuff away. Houdini did hundreds and hundreds of straitjacket escapes. When he came to a town, he'd always do a straitjacket escape over a building. Generally, the newspaper's building of that city. That's how he got in the front of every newspaper, because he picked the building where the Times was, or the Chronicle. Everyone would come to see the spectacle, and then all of a sudden his show would be filled up for the whole week. That's how he drew people.
Okay.
What makes Harry Houdini so amazing is the fact that when he performed, it was a do-or-die situation. Either he would fall to his death or escape from a jacket. Now, he did escapes upside down. Now, it looked like it was harder. Well, ironically, when you're upside down, your torso stretches. When your torso stretches, it makes more room in the jacket.
Okay.
So something that looks death-defying actually helped him get out.
So what are the chances of this actually being Houdini's jacket?
To prove it, it's like 1 in a million.
I've looked everywhere for a signature. There's not one on it.
You know what? You have no paperwork, but it's definitely early 1900s. And what's interesting with all these jackets is that each jacket was individually made by hand. Each rivet has a certain space, and these rivets are never gonna match another jacket spacing. Now, a company that he always used a lot was a Swanfelt tent and awning company. And generally that stamp is on a jacket. Oh, well. Swanfelt Tent and Awning Company.
I thought for sure there was no way we could prove this was Houdini's, and now we have a positive clue.
This is a great start, but to prove it, I need to find a photograph, which is like a 1 in a million chance. But if this is really Houdini's jacket, this is like the holy grail, of Houdini. So I'll look at my resources, and I have a huge file of resources, and that'll let me know if I can authenticate this or not.
Okay, sounds good.
Great, thanks, guys.
I can't wait to hear what Murray digs up. I don't know how he's gonna do it, but I hope he finds something that proves this is the real deal. That would be huge.
Hey, you're back.
I am.
Finally.
Yeah, I know, sorry about that. So I found the only photographs of a jacket that's as close as we can get to this jacket. It's the exact same style made by the same company. This is January 1st, 1915 in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna do a little bit of forensic work. I'm gonna look at the stitching. I'm gonna count every single stitch. If there's one stitch less, it's not the jacket.
Well, this is a moment that I've been waiting on for a long time.
Let's check this thing out, let's see if this is the actual jacket. The two. What I'm looking at is very, very small imperfections. The buttons, the stitches, the cut of the leather, and exactly where the rivets were placed. That's what really tells you if the jacket's the one in the photograph. That's the only way. Unbelievable. Look at this. This rivet here is flattened, so is this one. This rivet is raised, that's raised. You can see it in the photo, it's that clear as day. This is actually reflected off the camera, which a flat surface would. This is a great sign. This right here is this. I mean, that's identical. Granted, they could have put the same amount of rivets in jackets, fair enough. But you have 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check this out, right there. Double stitch.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's almost like 1 in a million. You know what? This is Houdini's jacket from January 1st, 1915 in
That
St.
is
Louis.
absolutely awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Even in magic history, this is huge.
Now that we found out that it's real, I wish me and my cousins hadn't played so hard in it when we were 5 and 6 years old.
All right, so tell me, what did these things go for?
This jacket, I would estimate, would go anywhere between $34,000 and $42,000.
Okay. Thanks, man. You're the best.
Yep. There you go. You know, I've seen a few Houdini jackets, but it's always the jacket and then a different picture. This is the first time ever I've seen Harry Houdini in a jacket and then having the exact same jacket beside me.
All right, so how much do you want for it?
You know, if I could get 40, I think we'd have a deal.
All right, I'm thinking 15. It's in really rough shape. It's had repairs on it. It could be years before I sell this thing.
You know, I might go a little less than 40, maybe 35.
I'll tell you what, I'll go 25 grand. I mean, that is tops.
If you could come up to 30, then we've got a deal.
I'll go, 25 is it.
Well, this has been an awesome day. You know, I think I'll keep it.
Okay.
I'm always here, man.
Awesome, thank you
All right,
guys.
thank
Forget the numbers. The most exciting thing is to actually have the expert come in and find an actual photograph of Harry Houdini wearing my jacket. Absolutely blew me away, blew me away.
I can't believe this guy wouldn't budge on his price. Even though we were only 5 grand off on the price, 25,000 is the most I could offer. Damn, I really wanted this jacket. I almost feel like running after him in the parking lot right now. What can I help you with?
My brother passed away a couple of years ago. This was in a box in his cellar. These are handcuffs and leg shackles. Supposed to be from Houdini.
Sweet.
This is amazing. I have had nothing from Houdini. The guy was a legend.
You must have been an amazing magician to break out of these.
Yeah, they would actually lock him up naked in the handcuffs, and he would get out of them.
No place to hide the key.
Oh, there's places.
I'm coming down to the pawn shop today to see if I can sell my handcuffs and shackles that I believe to be Houdini's. I want to try to sell them just for the money. I think they're worth at least $1,000, and I'd probably take $500 for them.
Do you know anything about him?
This paperwork was in there.
Purchased at auction of Sid Radner Houdini collection. You know, he was one of the greatest magicians ever, and he was probably the greatest showman ever. When you're a magician, it's just not the magic tricks and the escaping and everything else. It's the theatrics you put along with it. He was a master of self-promotion. Escaping from shackles like this is what made Houdini famous. His fame really skyrocketed when they submerged him upside down in a glass case filled with water. That's when he became an international superstar. They're definitely 1800s handcuffs, not real fancy. They made them out of iron. And the way these keys work is they would turn them in like that. They're threaded on the inside, and they would basically do that. What I just don't understand is how Houdini got out of these things. Even if he had a key hidden, this doesn't look easy. I couldn't get out of them. These would be absolutely amazing if they're Houdini's handcuffs. No one has ever come close to being that famous of a magician, period. These cuffs are awesome. Anything related to Houdini can be worth big money, and he's still considered one of the greatest magicians of all time. But Houdini items are faked all the time, so I have to get them checked out. The thing is determining whether these handcuffs are the same ones that were in the auction here. Let me get a buddy of mine down here. He's a magician, and he collects Houdini stuff, so he can tell us all about this 100%. Let me get him down here. We'll get this thing figured out.
Okay.
Thanks.
They're in good shape. And they're really Houdinis. They ought to be worth a ton of money. So here I am, seeing what they're worth.
How you doing, Rick?
I'm doing
Good to
great.
see ya. Chum? I'm Murray. I'm a professional magician. I've been doing magic for 25 years.
We got paperwork from a Houdini auction, and we have handcuffs and a key here. I just want to know if you could match them up.
All right. Where did you get these from, sir?
My brother passed away a couple of years ago, and I had to clean his house out, and these are in a box in the basement.
All right. A bit of a history is at that time in the early 1900s, there was only really about 102 to 105 keys made for every lock in the world. Well, Houdini was a locksmith, and he had every single key to every lock in the world. And he traveled with these keys everywhere he went. So on many posters, you see him with 7, 10 handcuffs. He'd have keys for the cuffs somewhere. That's the secret. Even today, there's so many other newer magicians out there, but everyone still refers back to Houdini. I've always been fascinated by the way he promoted himself. He was a great self-promoter. What he'd do is he'd go to a hardware store in town, and he would say, build a box, I'll escape from it. So they'd build this box out of big, long nails, and it'd be on display. About 2 days before the actual trick, he would get his team, a couple of guys, break into the hardware store. They'd knock a panel out, put really short nails in the back panel, re-hammer the panel back on, and then he'd leave the store locked up. So when he gets in the box, that one panel, he'd already switched out with short nails, so he just has to hit it with his elbow, it pops off. And that's how the mystery kind of worked. So he's a very, very smart man, so. Well, you know, these are the Darcy style, British barrel handcuffs. They're very popular late 1800s, early 1900s. These style of handcuffs would be used by Houdini. They're leg shackles. These are the right style from that era. Now, the paperwork that we have, this will tell a lot because it'll tell us where it actually came from. That's pretty new paperwork.
I could print up paperwork and have a bunch of old handcuffs.
I know you can photocopy this, you can print up any paperwork to say this. You really need to know certain things to see if they're real or not. And I'm telling you right now, this paperwork is the key for these handcuffs. This is as big as it gets for a magician. If these happen to be Houdini's real handcuffs, these are worth a fortune. One thing that is a giveaway is usually there's a stamp or a marking on these somewhere. See? It actually says Providence Tool Company. He always used these kind of handcuffs. So that's a start. Now, the paperwork that we have says purchased at auction of Sid Radner, won the highest profiled auctions ever. He had the world's largest Houdini collection, and he got it from Hardin, Houdini's brother. This is Houdini's personal collection. These are actual ones he traveled with and that he'd used. I know exactly when this auction happened. It happened in Las Vegas. It was at the Liberace Museum. It was in 2004, and it was a Sid Radner collection. With this paperwork, with the markings on these actual handcuffs, these are Houdini's.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're a very lucky man. Guard it with your life. It's a national treasure. He was one of the best magicians in the world.
So what are they worth nowadays?
These right here are worth between $5,800 and $6,500.
All right.
These leg shackles, these are worth anywhere between $3,800 and $4,500. So you have over $10,000 worth right here.
Yes.
Okay.
I was really pleased that they had an expert come in and evaluate them, and they're worth 10 times more than I was even thinking about.
Thanks for coming down, man.
Great. Thanks for having me. For myself, it was really neat to actually handle these, look at them, and really believe that these were used in some of the biggest stage shows, even possibly some of the posters that are now famous of Houdini.
All right. What are you looking to get out of them? Remember, I just did the massive favor of telling you what they're actually worth.
I appreciate that. They're worth $8,000?
No.
Why not? He said you could sell them for 10.
No, I can probably sell them in an auction a few years from now for 10.
What's your best offer?
$5 grand.
I don't think I could go that low.
What can you do?
7.
I'll go 6.
All right, let's go.
Okay. All right, deal.
Thank you.
Okay, write them up, John.
As far as I'm concerned, we turned my handcuffs and shackles into $6,000, and I got lots of plans for that money.
As soon as I saw the handcuffs, I knew it was a great opportunity to have some fun with Chum. So I had Murray come back down to the shop.
Hey, guys, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Murray?
Hey, Rick, can I see those cuffs? I want to check them out again.
Yeah, they're right here.
Wow, what'd you get them for?
Too much.
Too much. Nice. Good ones. Wow.
Did Houdini really get out of these things?
Yeah, man. I mean, I put them on you. You probably could get out of them. I
If
mean,
Houdini did it, I could definitely do it.
let's give it a shot, man. Here, let me see your wrist. Nice. Now you hear the snap? You're good?
I'm good.
Let's do this. Perfect, you're in. I'm gonna keep the key.
I got some stuff in the back I want to show you. Anyway.
Really?
Come on.
Good luck, man.
I'll be on no time. Rick! Hey, guys. Hold on one second. Rick! I got a customer up here.
What do we have here?
A book titled The Unmasking of Robert Houdini,
Okay.
written and signed by Harry Houdini.
This is cool. Harry Houdini, I mean, he was an amazing guy.
People still today are trying to figure out how he escaped from some of these tricks.
A lot of people said that he could store stuff in his esophagus, keep keys, and just regurgitate them on demand. Weird cat, but works out for a magician.
I came to the pawn shop today to show them my Harry Houdini signed book from 1908. The title is The Unmasking of Robert Houdini. Harry Houdini signed it 3 times. I'm asking $5,000, which is actually a very good price because I've seen them go for more than that.
God, it's cool. You know anything about it?
So it's a pretty fascinating book, which basically debunks his idol, magician Robert Houdini. The rumor was that Robert Houdini's widow did actually not want him to write the book, and I think he took it personal.
Yeah, what had happened was he went to the widow, wanted to like interview her about this book, and she basically said no, and so he wrote a negative book. I imagine his widow was a little pissed off him anyway, because he never asked for permission to be called Houdini.
Right.
Harry Houdini was a legendary magician. It's cool to see a book written by him about another magician's secrets. This book sort of proves he was a little bit of a narcissist. If these are real signatures of Harry Houdini in this book, we're talking showstopper. So, I mean, it's really interesting. The great thing is it's signed by Harry Houdini.
Yeah, you can see he signs it to a friend of his. He says, best wishes from the author, Harry Houdini. And then along the side, he says, oh, be sure to read the introduction, initials it again. So it's pretty fascinating.
I dig it. I think it's cool, but the book's in rough shape. You know that. I'm assuming you want to sell the book.
Yes,
And how much you want for it?
5,000.
All right.
It's pretty flawless. I mean, the signature is bold and not faded like you see a lot of photos.
Yeah, like it was done last week.
Hey, come on now. What are you trying to insinuate here?
Let me have someone look at the signature.
Okay.
Hang out a few minutes. I'm gonna get my friend down here,
Okay.
and we're gonna figure this thing out.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks. If that authenticator says it's not real, I will eat the first few pages of that book. I'll eat it without bread. I'll just take it out and I'll just eat it.
Well, here it is. Harry Houdini.
I love Houdini. I'm fascinated by him, actually. I mean, he's, for all the great magicians, no one could do what this guy did. And I mean, he'd show up in a town and he'd hang off a wire or, you know, go to prisons and get locked up and, you know, he'd put on a show anywhere he went. I mean, he was a showman. And I mean, Harry Houdini wasn't even his real name. His real name was Eric Weiss.
I would go to a show with starring Harry Houdini. Eric Weiss.
Be like, who? Houdini is just an amazing magician. I mean, he was the man. People wanted his signature. They wanted to meet him. They wanted to get near him, and he had no problem doing it. And through the years, I've seen all kinds of stuff signed by Houdini. The guy really signed his name a lot.
So, it's right here.
Tell me about your concerns.
Okay, it looks like it was written last week, and I'm trying to come up with a value here. The book's in terrible shape.
Yeah.
But it is signed by Houdini.
You know, Rick, the first thing I want to do is use the Pro Scope and see what we're dealing with. So I'm going to go over the signature here. And this is pretty typical of what I would expect to see. And you see kind of like the little ink separating out there. Yeah, and I really have no issue with that. So that's live ink.
Okay.
The next thing I want to do is pull out my examples, and I'll go to the Houdini signatures that I have on file. And here we are. And this is a full name signature. The consistency is what I look for, especially here in the last name. I really like how he goes H-O-U, H-O-U, stops, and then he finishes the rest of his name.
Okay. And so what do you think?
Based on what I see with ink analysis, signature here, it's definitely genuine.
Thank God, because now I don't have to eat it.
Okay, now, what do you think it's worth?
Based on what I know and what they bring in the marketplace, About $2,400.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
You're
No
the
problem.
best.
Good to see you. Thanks. In terms of like Houdini stuff I've seen, it's up there, but maybe the only thing that would have made it more stellar is that the book itself was in better condition. So I gave it a pretty fair price.
So,
I have to definitely disagree on the value.
the way I'm looking at it, I think he's dead on. And I have to resell this, I have to make money, and I'm thinking $1,500.
Yeah, I just couldn't go that low.
But it's got a lot of problems as far as book collecting
But is
goes.
the book collector also an autograph collector? You're kind of merging two markets there.
If this wasn't signed by Harry Houdini, this would be a $20 or $30 book. That's all it would be worth.
It's worth way more than that.
Okay, well, sorry, we're not gonna be able to make a deal. We tried.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right, change your mind, come on back.
All right, I will.
Thanks, man.
He's not going to find a book like this for $5,000 anywhere. I mean, this is a piece of history. He could have made money on this book. I really think he missed out.
Our buddy Murray informed me of a magician in town with a huge magic collection. Apparently, he's looking to sell a few items, and Murray suggested I take a look.
Hi, Corey. Welcome to Dixieland. Come on in.
How's it going, man? So, Dixie, right?
Yes, I'm Dixie.
Murray told me you had some magic antiques that you were looking to sell.
Got all kinds of wonderful things here. I've been performing magic here in Las Vegas for about 30 years. My house is kind of like a magic museum. It's got a lot of items that are very rare and one of a kind. It's an unusual addiction. It really is.
Yeah. So what do we have here?
This is a handcuff collection that I used in the Houdini show at the Plaza here in Las Vegas. And it was on display just like Houdini did in his day. He'd display cuffs and locks, which would attract attention. You see there's all kinds of rare handcuffs that I collected from all over the world.
What's the deal with these straitjackets?
They were used in my Houdini show. I had my feet wrapped in chains, and I was raised upside down over 100 foot in the straitjacket, escaping with it upside down there. It actually stopped traffic here in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. So we're talking about the 2 straitjackets and the handcuffs and the locks, right?
That's correct.
What are we looking to get for all of it?
I'm looking to get $3,000 for all of it.
Okay, well, I gotta tell you, I'm kind of waiting on Murray to show up here so he can tell me what this stuff's worth. But, I mean, you got a whole lot of really cool stuff here. Is there anything else I could take a look at till he gets here?
I've got a 6-foot-tall French guillotine. You want to see it?
Okay.
Whoa. It's a guillotine illusion. The way it works is like any normal guillotine, where the blade goes up and down and is operated by a pulley or a string, and then the blade is dropped, and anything that is in this place right here is, of course, cut off, like that.
And what are you looking to get out of this?
The price is $2,500 on this.
Okay.
Would you like to try it out?
You know, I think that's more of a Murray job. But, this is pretty cool. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, it's very cool. That was actually owned by Houdini himself.
Wow. So, I mean, I can see it's a printing plate, I guess, right?
Yes. It's used around 1912. He printed flyers for his show, and this is what it printed right here. Harry Houdini, world famous creator of the Handcuff King Act and only legitimate jailbreaker.
Okay. And what were you looking to get for something like this?
If I were to ever sell it, I would be asking something like $1 million.
Oh, that's a whole lot of money there. And it sounds like Murray just showed up.
Yeah, I'll go let him in.
Oh, thank you. What's going on, man?
How's it going? You found the House of Magic, huh?
Absolutely. There's a lot of cool stuff here.
Crazy, right?
Oh, yeah. So the first thing I got to ask you about is he has a Houdini printing plate. He's asking for $1 million.
How much?
$1 million.
All right. Where did you get this from?
It came from Houdini's house.
No way. You know, the greatest thing about Houdini is that he was a bigger publicist than anything else. When he would try to do a show in like New York or Chicago and hang upside down a straitjacket, he would actually hang upside down over the newspaper office. So they'd be writing their stories and this man would be swinging in front of them. And so for him to have a die that could print his own stuff is totally Houdini.
Any idea on what something like that might be worth?
Because it's a printing plate, he printed flyers, which is lovely. But it's not a jacket that he wore. It wasn't a milk can that he really escaped from somewhere in the world. And so realistically, the price for something like this would be between like $8,000 and $10,000.
Okay. Well, he did show me this guillotine that he tried to chop my head off in, and I figured you were coming down. I'd let you take a shot at it.
How much you paid me to try it? Let's have a look at this thing. Wow, look at that. This is pretty cool. I love the guillotine trick in the sense that the two biggest tricks would be the guillotine and then after that, sawing a lady in half. I'll try it. As long as it works, I'll put my head in there.
Right,
Why
well,
not?
if you
Done
do
a lot
the
of things to
honors,
stay in show business.
come
What the hell?
around this way. Put your head right in here.
Wow, this is a tight. Let me put my glasses on.
Yeah, all right. All right, now, here we go.
Okay.
On the count of 3, we're
right.
gonna try this.
Man.
1,
Yep.
2.
Yep. I'm actually scared. Oh, wow. Where'd everybody go? And my head is back. Well, it works. That's I have not put my head in one of those for a long time.
Yeah, he's also got this collection of handcuffs and locks and straitjackets over here. You mind taking a look at those for me,
Yeah,
too?
let's check it out.
Yeah, let's
Sure.
go over.
Wow. That's quite the collection you got, Dixie. That's a lot of handcuffs.
Oh, thank you.
Are any of these attached to Houdini or anyone else?
No, none of them belong to Houdini, but these are the style that Houdini used in his day.
So what do you think a set like this would go for?
Well, if it's a Houdini handcuff, they can go between, $8,000, sometimes $12,000. But like you'd mentioned, these aren't any of Houdini's handcuffs. So realistically, the handcuffs here would be between $40 and $50 a piece. If you were to do the handcuffs and the guillotine together, it's about $3,500.
All right, man. Well, thank you, Murray.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me over, Dixie. Your place is amazing. Make myself disappear. See you guys later.
So obviously it's a no-go on the press over there.
Yeah, it's priceless.
I'm thinking about this collection and the guillotine. Would you do it $1,500?
Yeah, I couldn't let it go for $1,500. It's way too low.
Would you go $1,800?
$1,800? No, I couldn't do that.
Unfortunately, man, that's about as much as I'm going to be able to do.
Okay, I understand that. No problem. You have to sell them and make money off of them.
I appreciate it, and if you ever change your mind, you know where I'll be, okay?
Come by anytime.
Take care.
I'm not disappointed today. That was fun. It's magic. Anything's possible.